There are three things in life that I can absolutely guarantee: death, taxes, and the New York Knicks just blowing an opportunity to get a star player. What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to the Sixers Breakroom. Before we get to the video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's just a few clicks. It's free love, costs you nothing, and it makes you a dope individual. As you can see, I lost my voice a little bit, so bear with me. But I gotta make this video. I gotta talk about the New York Knicks blowing an opportunity to bring in Donovan Mitchell. As everybody knows, Donovan Mitchell has been shipped to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and in return, the Jazz are getting Lauri Markkanen, the dude from Kansas, I always forget how to say his name, Colin Sexton, 3 unprotected first-round picks, and 2 pick swaps. So it's definitely a big haul for the Utah Jazz. You get 3 players, you get 3 unprotecteds, 2 pick swaps, but I can't help but feel like the Knicks could have offered a better package. In fact, it was reported by Woj that in July, the Knicks offered RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson, and 3 unprotected first-round picks. So it begs the question, how and why did the Knicks let Donovan Mitchell slip through their fingers? Well, there's a couple layers of this I want to unpack. Number one, I feel like the belief was that the Knicks did not want to give up RJ Barrett because they think he's going to be a star, which I actually agree with. The one player I would not give up if I was the Knicks was RJ Barrett, because I do believe RJ Barrett is going to be a star in this league. He's young. He's able to score the ball. He's still developing. His shot needs to get more consistent, but he is a guy that can go get you 20 a night right now, and he defends. He's willing to take on the challenge of defending the other team's best wing. I think the guy's going to be a star in the NBA, so he would be my one untouchable. But the fact that they offered RJ Barrett and the Jazz said no means that RJ Barrett wasn't the guy that they coveted, or like they wanted RJ Barrett and another guy. I have to believe that the Knicks could have gotten Donovan Mitchell. Based on what they offered, they could have gotten Donovan Mitchell if they wanted. The one thing that we know is it wasn't an issue with picks per se, because they also offered 3 unprotected picks. So was it the 2 pick swaps that was holding this up? Like, I'm confused. I'm confused how this Knicks deal didn't happen. Because again, I feel like the belief would have been that not wanting to give up RJ Barrett would have been the issue, but they were willing to give up RJ Barrett. When I look at this deal, right, and you're like, RJ Barrett, Colin Sexton, well, I got to give the nod to RJ Barrett. Obi Toppin or Lauri Markkanen, maybe I think Lauri Markkanen is really good, but Obi Toppin seems to have potential. Like, that's kind of a bit of a wash. Mitchell Robinson is a athletic big who can protect the rim, has some health issues, but definitely a solid piece. He's a good role player on a good team. You get the same amount of first-round picks. Like, the only difference here really is the pick swaps. Did the Knicks really not make this deal because of 2 additional pick swaps? Like, if that's the case, the Knicks made a huge mistake. Now, of course, it could be that they wanted RJ Barrett and another guy. Now, let's just say that this deal would have been enough, but they had to add an additional player. Who was the additional player that the Knicks weren't willing to give up? Like, was it Quentin Grimes? Did they really say we don't want Donovan Mitchell because of Quentin Grimes? Again, I can see that being the case with RJ Barrett, but they already offered RJ Barrett. They were willing to part ways with RJ Barrett. So RJ Barrett was not the guy that was holding up this deal. So if the Jazz did want an additional player, if they wanted another player, and the Knicks said no, that means they are choosing that player over Donovan Mitchell. They want that guy more than they want Donovan Mitchell, and the Knicks don't have that guy on their roster. So again, like, I'm just not sure how this was held up. Am I making sense to everybody? Is that making sense? Like, 3 players for 3 players. The quality of players are just about the same. I think RJ Barrett actually would have been the best of the players that the Cavs gave up and the Knicks were willing to give up. 3 unprotecteds, 3 unprotecteds. The only difference is the 2 pick swaps. So either the Knicks said no because they didn't want to give up 2 pick swaps, or the Knicks said no because there was another player the Jazz wanted that the Knicks weren't willing to give up, meaning they chose that player over Donovan Mitchell. Like, it doesn't make, it's asinine to me. I don't, if you're the Knicks, I don't know how you're willing to give up RJ Barrett, but you're not willing to give up the 2 pick swaps, or you're willing to give up RJ Barrett, but you're not willing to give up a Quentin Grimes. Like, I don't think that Donovan Mitchell moves the needle so much that I would give up RJ Barrett, but since they were, I'm just like, yo, at that point, give up whoever else too. And then I guess you were planning to rock with Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, and Quentin Grimes. But it's like, if I got to give up Quentin Grimes to get Donovan Mitchell, I'm going to do that because Donovan Mitchell is a guy you hope Quentin Grimes can even remotely be close to, right? And in the NBA, you need to have a top 10, top 20 guy just to give yourself even an outside chance of competing for a title. You probably need a couple of them. And I'm not saying that Donovan Mitchell is top 10, but I'm just saying like he would have brought you closer to that. And that's why I would have kept RJ Barrett in the deal, because I do believe RJ Barrett can be that top 10 guy. And then you pair that with Donovan Mitchell and you pair that with Jalen Brunson, and all of a sudden you got something, right? One of my best friends is a Knicks fan. He was like, I'm glad we didn't make this deal because I don't want to mortgage the future for Donovan Mitchell. It's like, the opposite is true. Bringing in Donovan Mitchell would have made it a brighter future for the Knicks because, yes, you don't have the first round picks, but there's two pieces to that I would contend makes this better for your future. Number one, by adding Donovan Mitchell, you become, to use Kevin Durant's words, a more desired landing spots for free agents. The Knicks have a history of swinging and missing on the top free agents. They missed out on LeBron. They thought they were going to bring in Kyrie and Kevin Durant. Like, they typically don't bring in these guys that they believe that they can bring in. But now when you have Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, Donovan Mitchell, all of a sudden you become a team that people would want to go play for. Like, you're building something. Players are going to look at that situation and be like, yo, maybe they're a piece or two away. Maybe I can be that piece or two away. Number two, sure, you're giving up these first round draft picks, but the Knicks do not have a history of picking well anyway. Like if you look back, and I'm taking a look at the list right here at their first round draft picks, like going back to, let's say 2011. Let's just go back to 2011. 2011, your first round pick was Iman Shumpert. Good, not great. Played his best years outside of the Knicks. Then you have Tim Hardaway, good player. Again, his best years not even on the Knicks. Then you have Kristaps Porzingis, who I think was a hit, but injury issues messed that up. Then you got Kevin Knox, who's not even on the team anymore. Before that, sorry, I skipped Frank Ntilikina, who's not on the team anymore. RJ Barrett, who I think is going to be a home run hit. So that's one. And I guess if you count Kristaps, but again, not even on the team anymore. Obi Toppin, you don't know what he's going to be. Keon Johnson was traded. Kai Jones was traded. And then you got the guy Ousmane Dieng, if I'm saying his name right, this year, who got traded. It's not like the Knicks are making these first round selections and they're staying with the Knicks and they're productive and they're making the team better and they're going to the playoffs. They're either picking guys that get traded away, or they're picking guys who end up leaving for whatever reason. They're not on the Knicks anymore and they're playing their best basketball when they're not on the Knicks. So I don't look at those first round picks in the Knicks' hands as being as valuable as they might be in somebody else's hand, like say the Celtics, who've been drafting well, right? Like I feel like the Donovan Mitchell deal not happening is going to be something that has a lasting effect on this Knicks organization. And the last thing I would like to point out is you have now put an immense amount of pressure on RJ Barrett and whoever that other guy might be that they didn't want to give up. I'm guessing Quentin Grimes. You put so much pressure on them because now until forever, it is always going to be framed as you, the Knicks, chose RJ Barrett and that guy, or that guy. Maybe it's not an and situation because they said no to RJ Barrett, but you chose that guy over Donovan Mitchell. And now that guy needs to perform. You just gave RJ Barrett the max extension. He has to perform, or the fan base is going to be like, you chose him over Donovan Mitchell. And whew, I mean, I think he's going to be a stud, but that's a lot of pressure to put on that young man. I want to hear from you guys, man. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comment section below. Do you guys think that the Knicks blew this deal just like I think they blew this deal? Or do you think that they actually made the right decision, which would be like one of the first times ever? Let me know in the comment section below. If you liked the video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's free love. And if you want to become a member, that link is in the description below as well. I'm going to see you guys on the next video. Peace.